Alex Debogorski had already cheated death many times before ice road trucks made him famous. In 1 week, he was in 37 bar fights, 11 attempted robberies, and almost got crushed in a coal mine. But he wasn't ready for what happened next. As his TV fame grew, bad things kept happening. Lost 2 kids, huge debt, and illness that could kill you. In 1971, the man who beat the ice roads has to deal with his toughest fight yet. The Canadian author Alex Debogorski was born on August 4th, 1953, in Berwyn. Stan and Irene, his parents, had lived through the terrible things that happened in Poland during World War II. Stanley was a brave paratrooper in the Free Polish Brigade who fought in Operation Market Garden and other dangerous tasks. To stay safe, he had to hide for weeks from German soldiers. Irene was also very interesting. At Cambridge University, where she studied math and music, bombs went off all around her. They met by chance in 1943 in an air raid bunker. Even though the war was crazy, they fell in love and got married in just 6 months. Stan and Irene couldn't go back to Poland after the war. The Soviet Union now ran the country, and people like Stanley, who had fought for the Free Polish Forces, were seen as foes. They chose to start over in Canada and leave everything behind. They got on a crowded ship in 1952 to cross the Atlantic. The trip was rough with rough waves, and Irene, who was pregnant with Alex, got very sick at sea. When the 2 weeks were over, they got to Halifax, Nova Scotia. After that, they went west to Alberta, where it was cheap to grow land. After a year, their first child, Alex, was born in Canada. Alex lived on a farm in northern Alberta as a child. It was hard to live there. The winters were so cold that the mercury often dropped below -40 degrees Celsius. For months, there was snow on everything. It was hard for the family to stay warm and feed the animals. In the fall, they got ready for winter by cutting down trees for firewood, putting food away, and getting all of the farm tools ready. Alex learned how to think ahead and keep calm when things get tough. It wasn't much better in the summer. A lot of bugs and black flies came out because it was hot, which made working outside very uncomfortable. No matter how hard it was, Alex and his family worked through it all by planting food and taking care of animals. Alex had a list of things he needed to do every day by the time he was 7. He took care of the cows, fed the chickens, and picked up the eggs. He had more duties as he aged. He learned how to fix fences, drive trucks, and help with the hard work of harvest time. When he was 14, his family worked nonstop for 2 weeks to finish gathering right before a frost that would have killed their crops. Alex said that event taught him how important it is to work together and not give up, even when things get tough. There were times when life on the farm was amazing, even though it was hard. Happiness. On clear winter nights, Alex loved to watch the northern lights light up the sky. He also liked walking through the woods near the farm, talking to birds and watching nature. But it wasn't always easy for him to grow up. People picked on him at school because he was shy and awkward. Because of these things, he spent more time by himself, which helped him create a vivid imagination and a love for telling stories. Afterwards, this would help him stand out on ice road truckers. A lot of what Alex did was shaped by his family background. During World War II, his maternal grandfather was a major in the Polish infantry. The Germans killed him because he helped Jews leave Poland. Alex was deeply moved by this story of bravery and selflessness. It gave him a strong sense of right and wrong and the guts to take risks when they were needed. Alex's parents also made sure that he and his brothers knew how important it was to be Polish. When family got together, they told stories about the war, sang traditional Polish songs, and ate hearty meals that kept their history alive. People knew him as an ice road trucker, but he had done crazy, dangerous, and difficult work before. Alex got his first job as a guard at the Yellowknife on August 17, 1971. He was only 18 years old at the time. The bar was notorious for constant fights. He stopped 37 bar fights, got 2 black eyes, and even broke a rib in his first week on the job. He didn't give up, though. He kicked out more than 2,000 loud customers over the course of 18 months. 13 times, he almost got stabbed, but he was able to avoid it all. To make a change, Alex got a job as a car driver in Edmonton in 1973. It looked like this job was safer, but it wasn't. 11 thieves tried to rob him in just 6 months. It got really bad on October 3, 1973, when a rider pulled out a knife and demanded his money. Alex fought back, drawing on his skills as a bouncer. The thief was held until the cops arrived while he took away his gun. Alex moved to Alberta's oil lands in early 1974. It got as cold as minus 40 degrees Celsius, where he worked as an oil worker, and his shifts were 16 hours long. On July 12, 1974, a drilling pipe came loose and almost hit him in the head. The fact that Alex kept going showed that he wasn't scared of dangerous work. Alex began working in the coal mines in Grande Cache, Alberta, in November 1974. Every day, he went 2,000 feet underground and was always at risk of cave-ins, gas blasts, and coal dust that could hurt his lungs. In March 1975, 3 miners were stuck when a wall fell on them. Alex dug for them for 17 hours with just his hands and a small shovel. He was very brave, and these hard jobs taught him how to handle stress and quickly figure out solutions, which helped him later as an ice road truck driver. Alex also had an exciting romantic life. He married his high school love, Louise, on June 15, 1972, when he was 19 years old. On September 7, 1969, at a school dance, Alex, who was 6 feet 3 inches tall, knocked over Louise, who was 5 feet 2 inches tall. This was the start of their story. They began dating after Louise laughed instead of getting mad. Alex took her on a drive across a frozen lake late at night on their third date. The ice under their car broke, but Alex quickly thought of a way to get them to beach safely. It didn't scare Louise. Instead, it brought them closer. Alex was there for Louise when she found out she was pregnant on March 12, 1972. He asked her to marry him by making a ring out of a silver dollar. He didn't care what other people thought about how young they were. There were only 23 people at their wedding, and everyone brought something to eat. They even made their own dandelion wine. They camped in the woods for their vacation and met a grizzly bear there. For the Debogorskis, this kind of joy was nothing new. At first, life was hard. They lived in 14 different places between 1972 and 1976, such as a school bus and a house without running water. It snowed on November 18, 1972, when Louise gave birth to their first child, Cielo. They were late getting to the hospital, so Alex gave birth to the baby himself. Alex's first job as a truck driver was at the McIntyre on September 3, 1972. He didn't really have any training, but he lied and said he had driven trucks on his family farm. He was put in a huge Euclid R50 dump truck, which was as big as a house, on his first day on the job. First time around, he almost tipped it over, but he learned quickly. It was a terrible job with dangerous conditions and long hours. His truck went off the road during a storm and almost fell into a 200-foot drop. Alex did great even though there were risks, and by July 1973, he was promoted to lead driver. Alex went to Yellowknife with his wife Louise and their 2 children in 1976. They had $500 and an old, broken-down truck that stopped working just outside of town. They pushed it the last bit of the way and had a laundry for 3 weeks to stay warm. Alex overheard someone at a diner talking about work as an ice road truck driver on May 17, 1976. He jumped at the chance, even though he had never done it before. Late May was the date of his first trip, a risky time when the ice was melting. He almost had his truck slide through the ice, but he got it over. Alex wasn't scared on that trip. Instead, it made him really want to drive on the ice. He learned about ice roads, the weather, and how trucks work over the next few months. It was known that he was skilled and fair. Alex took a risky trip in the middle of a blizzard on February 14, 1977, to bring medical supplies to a remote town. It took 52 hours and there was no way to see, but he made it. Because he was so brave and dedicated, people in the area started calling him the Ice Road Angel. In January 2007, on a cold morning, Alex Debogorski, he was going about his normal business in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Everything changed that day. They came to town to find someone to be on a new reality show about ice road trucking for the TV company Original Productions. They kept hearing Alex's name when they talked to locals. It looked like everyone agreed. This man was the best ice road driver ever. They decided to find him because they were interested. On January 17, 2007, they finally found Alex. He was sitting at a nearby diner. He always eats 4 eggs, bacon, and pancakes for breakfast. Alex thought the producers were salespeople when they came up to him, but they told him they were making a show about how dangerous it is to work as an ice road truck driver. Alex was interested but wary. The directors were blown away by his big personality right away, deep voice, and wonderful stories. He talked about dangerous animals, icy roads that his truck could slip on, and being in the middle of nowhere in the woods. They knew they had found their star after hearing his stories. Alex had everything they needed for the show because he had driven on icy roads for 26 years. Alex still wasn't sure about being on TV. He told his family about it at dinner on February 3rd, 2007. Louise, his wife, didn't like the idea. She was afraid that cameras would be watching them and that the attention would cause trouble. Alex felt the same way. He didn't want the show to make ice road trucking look fake or silly. He also thought that being 53 years old might be too old for the stress of being filmed. He wasn't sure what to do for weeks. He asked other truck drivers for help. Some people told him that the fame might not be worth it. Alex even met with a priest in the area, Father Joseph, on March 15, 2007. But the priest also told Alex to follow his heart and that being on TV would mean taking on a lot of responsibility. It wasn't easy to make the choice, but on April 2, 2007, everything changed. Alex's oldest son called to tell him that the family had been having a hard time with money for a long time. After hearing this, Alex realized that the show could give them the money they needed. Alex chose to do it after one more talk with his family on April 10, 2007. In just a few weeks, on April 15, 2007, he signed the deal. Alex quickly became a fan favorite when Ice Road Truckers first aired on June 17, 2007. Being calm in dangerous scenarios and having a strong faith. Over 3,000 letters from fans all over the world had been sent to him by the end of the first season. People on the show came and went, but Alex stayed for all 11 seasons. On September 8, 2013, during Season 7, Alex celebrated having been on set for 1,000 days. The crew threw him a party at a truck stop in Manitoba as a surprise, letting him know how much they valued him. It wasn't easy for Alex either. On January 22, 2008, during Season 2, he had a pulmonary embolism, which is a very bad health problem. For a while, he had to leave the show. When he came back in Season 3, fans were thrilled. Alex had been in all 138 episodes by the time the last season ran in 2017. On March 15, 2017, he shot his last ice road trip for the show. There were tears in his eyes as he thought about his 10 years on the show. About 3.4 million people watched the last episode of the show on November 9, 2017. A lot of people just want to see Alex. Fame was fun, but it was hard for Alex's family. He got more than 50 love letters every day after the first season and asked to go on public events. On September 12, 2007, he went to his first big event, which was a truck con in Dallas. Over 5,000 people came to see him, and there was a line that went around the building to get his autograph. But it was hard to be away from home so much. Alex had been away from his family for 285 days by the end of the first year. Even more so for their younger children. His wife, Louise, said it was hard. Alex did his best to spend time with his family. He called home every night at 9 p.m., no matter where he was. He even stopped shooting in the middle of a dangerous ice crossing on February 14, 2011, to take a call. By 2012, Alex had a job that let him take off every third weekend, which let him spend more time with his family. A big drive for Alex was taking care of his large family of 11 children and 13 grandkids. He worked 340 days a year before the show and sometimes did extra jobs to make ends meet. His 11th child was born on March 18, 2008, which made him even more motivated to do well. He had a stable income thanks to the show. By 2012, it had grown by 400%. But he didn't only think about himself. In 2014, Alex set up the Debogorski Family Education Fund to help pay for college for his grandkids. The fund had grown to $500,000 by 2016. Alex always said that his family was the reason he worked so hard, no matter how hard things got. He told them in his last interview for the show, "Every mile I've driven, every risk I've taken, it's all been for them. They're the reason I do everything." Fans were moved by his hard work and determination, which made him a hero in the world of ice road trucking. The 15th of June, 2017 marked a turning point in Andrew Debogorski's life. He was only 31 years old when he was told he had ALS, which is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Over time, this disease makes it so bad that a person can't move, speak, or even breathe. It was a terrible blow to his family. Andrew had a lot going on. He had 2 little kids and was planning to marry his partner, Miriam. People in Yellowknife loved him because he was brave and kind. He was now told that he had 2 to 5 years left to live. It had been months since Andrew last felt strong. It was hard for him to talk, and his muscles felt weaker. The diagnosis was confirmed by the doctor at Stanton Territorial Hospital in Yellowknife. Also, it broke my heart. Andy's dad, Alex Debogorski, was shooting season 11 of Ice Road Truckers at the time. As soon as Alex heard the news, he ran back home. The family got together and planned to do everything they could. They went to see doctors in Edmonton and Vancouver in the hopes of getting better news. But each doctor said the same thing. Andrew had ALS that was very bad and moving quickly. His health started to get worse in just a few weeks. He was no longer able to work by August 2017. He used to drive a big machine, but now he needed a wheelchair to get around. His speech got hard to understand, and it was hard for him to eat. The family was strong. Andrew kept his funny side even as the illness got worse. He had an amazing amount of guts and gave everyone around him hope. The prices of taking care of Andrew were too high. Alex set up a GoFundMe page called Andrew's ALS Fight on July 1st, 2017, to raise $100,000. The reaction was wonderful. They raised $25,000 in 24 hours. They had more than $75,000 by the end of July. Donors came from all over Canada, the US, and even Australia and the UK. The family also set up events. At the Yellowknife Elks Lodge in September, they had a concert and a silent sale. Local artists played, but Alex couldn't make it, so he sent a video message instead. They raised an extra $32,000 that night. The family held a neighborhood yard sale in April 2018 called Wheels for Andrew. They needed a van that could fit people in wheelchairs, and the event raised $40,000. In October 2018, Alex also went on a tour across Canada to raise money. To bring attention to ALS, he drove his truck from Yellowknife to Toronto, stopping in towns along the way. At a dinner in Toronto at the end of the tour, they raised $150,000. By the end of 2018, it took everyone's work to raise $487,000. Without this money, Andrew would not have been able to get care, adaptive tools, or experimental treatments. ALS didn't get better with all this help. Andy could not walk by the beginning of 2018. He had to use an electric wheelchair to get around. In March, he needed something to help him talk. In the same month, he started to have trouble breathing. Just 1 year after being told he had cancer, in June 2018, Andrew got pneumonia. He was taken to the hospital right away and stayed for 2 weeks. He made it through, but he needed a machine to breathe and care 24 hours a day. Andrew got married to Miriam in April 2018 despite everything. The service was beautiful and sad at the same time. He couldn't stand at the altar and needed help saying his vows. The day was still full of love. Drew kept his spirit up even though he lost more of his physical skills. He couldn't move at all by fall. He talked to people by looking at letters on a screen with eye gaze technology. He kept in touch with family and friends and kept his mind sharp. On December 28, 2018, bad things happened. Their house in Yellowknife caught on fire. Miriam was able to save their 2 young children, Miroslav, for months, and Naya, 5 years old. But Andrew couldn't get away because he was stuck in his wheelchair. The firefighters got there quickly, but they didn't have time to get to him. He was taken to the hospital, but they said he was dead from breathing in smoke. He was only 33 years old. No one ever found out what caused the fire, which caused the family even more pain and questions. Andrew's last moments were brave. As the fire spread, he used his gadget to tell Miriam to get the baby out of the house. His last words kept his family safe. Andrew had been making plans for emergencies for months. He kept a fire extinguisher close by and did fire drills with his family. His planning and brave act at the end made sure that his family and friends would live. Alex could not handle losing Andrew. He had gone to see Andrew just 4 days before the Christmas Eve fire. It broke his heart to see his son so weak and helpless, unable to move or speak. Alex felt guilty a lot of the time. He wasn't at home when the fire broke out because he had to work as a truck driver to pay the bills. He felt bad that he wasn't there when he heard about the fire while he was on the road. During the next few weeks, Alex got strength from his faith and his family. He shared sad posts about Andrew on social media and felt better after getting support from friends all over the world. Alex also spoke out for ALS research and fire safety. Alex Debogorski became well known for his role on Ice Road Truckers. But he has had money troubles that may surprise fans, even though he was successful on TV. People know his name and face, but he hasn't made as much money as many would have thought. He was only worth about $400,000 by 2022. After decades of hard work and being a TV star, this seems like a small thing. Real-life TV stars don't make as much money as people think, which is one reason for this. Alex once made a joke, "I'm just famous. Please give me $20 so I can get my teeth fixed." That's all I can remember. It was amusing, but it was honest about how little money he made. Running ice roads is another winter job. In other words, Alex doesn't make money all year. In 2020, he said that he still needed to work as a truck driver during the summer to make money. Also, it takes a lot of money to keep trucks in good shape for the dangerous ice roads. Alex had to ask for $7,500 in gifts in 2018 to fix his truck. It was a clear sign that his money wasn't solid, even though the show had ended years ago. Alex has 11 children and more than 12 grandkids. Taking care of such a big family costs a lot more money. He has also said that because of his deal with the History Channel, he couldn't get advertising deals to make extra money. In other words, he couldn't fully make more money with his fame. All of these reasons show why Alex is still having trouble with money, even though everyone knows him. Alex's health has also been hurt by his job as an ice road truck driver. In 2008, when Season 2 of Ice Road Truckers was being filmed, one of the scariest things ever happened. It was a pulmonary embolism that sent him to the hospital right away. This is a dangerous blood clot in the lung. During the season, he had to leave the show because it was so bad. This proved how dangerous the job is. Alex has been hurt a lot over the course of his career. He hurt his feet and legs, hit his head several times, and was even hit by a freight train. Because of these injuries, he is in pain all the time and has trouble moving around. His body also got tired from working hard and the cold weather. His hands and knees got arthritis from years of holding on to cold driving wheels and getting in and out of trucks. He also lost some hearing because the trucks were so loud. Alex keeps working even though these things are going wrong. He does, however, take on shorter, easier jobs to take care of his health. He's also said that trucks need better health care and more help. Alex stays strong and keeps going despite everything. Alex's life has also been full of tragedy. Alex lost his son Alexander Jr., also known as AJ, on June 16, 2024. He was only 41 years old. Alex's family and fans were shocked by his sudden death. The fact that AJ died leaving a wife and 6 kids behind made the loss even worse for the family. This wasn't the first bad thing that happened to Alex. Andrew, another son, died in a house fire in 2019. He was 32 years old. Andrew was told 2 years ago that he had ALS. Alex and his family have been through a lot since losing 2 boys in 5 years. Fans and other truckers came together to support AJ after he died. They made a group on Facebook called Alexander Jr. Debogorski Memories to read and share stories and pictures. A lot of people wrote about how much they loved AJ's fun, kindness, and strong family values. Alex wrote about his sadness online. "My family has suffered a profound loss with the unexpected passing of our dear Alexander Jr., 41 years old. He has 6 kids and a woman left behind." This short message showed how much pain he was in. In between his public life and these personal deaths, Alex has had a hard time. Behind the scenes, he has been through a lot of pain. On Ice Road Truckers, he is known for his big laugh and funny stories. Alex talked about Andrew's death in an interview after he died in 2019. He got teary-eyed when he talked about how Andrew's last act was to save his wife and children from the fire. Alex keeps meeting friends and going to events, even though he is sad. Some fans have noticed that he seems quieter in person, but he still smiles for pictures and signs autographs. Being a Catholic has helped him deal with things. Prayer and Alex's faith in a greater power give him the strength to keep going. Alex's time on Ice Road Truckers was full of memories he will never forget. During Season 3, his truck almost hit a fuel tanker on a tight ice road. Each driver slammed on their brakes, and the tanker hit Alex's truck from the side. An explosion could have happened if there had been a crash, but Alex quickly thought of a way to stop it. In a different show, he steered a 100-ton crane across breaking, thin ice. Being calm helped him deliver it safely. Alex has been in situations that could have killed him many times in his work. His truck almost sank through a frozen lake in 1999. The trailer sank into the cold water, and he just barely saved the cab. When it snowed in 2008, his truck spun on black ice and almost went off a mountain road. Alex relied on his skills and years of knowledge to stay alive. Alex has won a lot of awards for his work. There was an award for him in 2012 from the Canadian Trucking Alliance. He was made a member of the North American Trucking Hall of Fame in 2014. A prize was also given to him for driving over 1.5 million miles on icy roads without a big accident. These awards show how skilled and hardworking he is as a truck driver. Alex wrote a book called King of the Road in 2010. It was based on true stories from a famous ice road trucker. In the book, he wrote about things that happened in his life, such as the scary and interesting things that happen on ice roads. It sold a lot of copies and was translated into 12 languages. Alex went on a 20-city tour to sell the book. He met fans and told them amazing stories. Alex is not only a good truck driver, but also a great writer, as shown by how well the book did.